Hello and welcome back to the 2024 Aramco Formula 4 Saudi Arabia Championship. Of course, as always, we're coming to you live now for qualifying, and my name is Aaron Thompson, and Luca Felipe is joining me, and in just a few moments, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go green at the end of the pit lane, and I'm sure we'll be led out onto the track. We're ahead of the procession of the drivers for the beginning of the qualifying session. We're just hot off of free practice going into qualifying now, and Luca Felipe predicts Andrei Petrovic on the top step of the podium, but I think that light blue number 5 car, Sagar Al-Masharji, has something to prove this weekend.
Yeah, I agree, for sure. The boat will be really quick, but it will be a tight field.
Talking about a tight field, Luca, can you have a quick run through the circuit with us?
Yeah, it is a fantastic circuit here on the coast of Jeddah, and from the start it's a long straight up to 6th gear into turn 1 and 2, quite tight, overtaking place as well, and then 4 is 4th gear corner, 5, 6, 7 flat out, a little lift for turn 8 and then turn 9, and then again a fast action up to 6th gear, down to 4th with a banking corner, turn 13, it's a lot of banking, really fun corner, and then another chicane, 16, 17 in 4th gear, and then flat out the exit for all this section, and in 22, again down to 4th, so carry a lot of speed, and then you stay flat out in 22, 23, 23, 24, up to the last corner, that is another place with that we have seen overtaking from 6th to 3rd gear into the last corner. It's since 6.2 kilometers, so definitely the longest circuit here in the Middle East. Difficult to drive, but fantastic to watch.
Have you had a chance to go around the circuit, Luca?
Unfortunately not.
No.
Unfortunately not. Not yet. Who knows? But no, I have been with the drivers doing the track walk, so I've been looking closely to every little detail, and now after years of being in motorsport, you are looking so deeply into the data, the videos, and out on track that it feels like I did drive already. It feels like I know this place even if I never driven yet.
Well, there's that special word yet, isn't there? So hopefully you get a chance, you can tell us all about it. I've been around a few times now doing the track branding. It is, well, I obviously drove very respectively under the speed limit. But even from only 60 kilometers an hour, I can see it's a fantastic track.
Yeah, and think about it, going 5 times the speed.
Yeah, 5 times easily, yeah. The top speed, well, 4 times. Maybe the top speed is about 220 in these cars, isn't it?
Yeah. And I was also thinking about, maybe the Formula 1, how fast. But, and between the walls, it feels even faster because you don't really see what's next until the very last moment. So you have to memorize everything, and you have to be really, really focused. And at the beginning, the feel of speed is incredible compared to maybe other circuit where the visibility it is different just because you normally don't have the walls in the apexes.
Talking about the walls and the apexes, Luca, does that do anything with the wind at this circuit? We saw in other circuits, maybe most notably Kuwait, the wind really having effect on the line, on the racing, and what would these walls have an effect here? Because we're on the coast, ladies and gentlemen, so you'd expect a lot of wind, but I haven't heard any complaints.
Yeah, it's true. We are on the coast, so you will expect some wind, which we did have a little bit last week, but to be honest, not so much that it would affect a lot the driving. Mostly where it's important to look if you have wind is in the long straight, because if you have tailwind, it means that the wind is pushing you from behind, so you could have to adjust your braking and maybe brake a little bit earlier because you will arrive slightly faster, but you will have also the wind pushing, so the car will be a little bit harder to stop. Other way around, if the wind is in front of you and you're basically driving against the wind, then it means that the car is a little bit slower in the straight line, and you will have a little extra downforce while you brake, so you can brake a little later. And yeah, you just have to readjust yourself within the braking, while in Formula 1 you could have been also affected by the side wind in the very fast corner, like 5th gear corner, 6 gears. But to be honest, for Formula 4 is by definition and by the philosophy a less sophisticated aerodynamic car, as the purpose is to make sure that the drivers, they can learn about aerodynamic. They learn how to drive a car coming from karting that has aerodynamic but is not too sophisticated. So at the beginning it's more about having a feel of the mechanical grip that the tire have, and the car itself with the suspension and with the mechanical grip that you can find on track. And then while you make the next step toward the road to Formula 1, then you will find more and more downforce in every category going up from Formula 4 to Formula 1.
Talking about downforce, Luca, what factor of the car, what property of the car is giving us the most downforce? Is it the wings or is it the floor? The floor looks particularly complicated and sophisticated on these F4 cars, at least compared to the old BMWs and the the Formula 2000 cars.
So yeah, for sure they try and make the floor being very efficient, because the floor basically generates the downforce from underneath the car, with the air going basically in between the surface, the asphalt, and the underbody of the car, so the floor, and then generating the downforce by making the air accelerating through the length of the underfloor. Then it generates downforce, especially on the rear of the car. And even if you are in dirty air, so you are following another car in front of you, then still the aerodynamic effect is not compromised. And so there is quite a lot of downforce generated from the underfloor. Then the rest is done by the wing, so the one you have at the front and the one at the rear. In Formula 4 you have basically the main flap only, so one big flap at the front and one at the rear. So this is why it's a little less sophisticated compared to higher categories, but it generates downforce for you to have more grip. That for sure is a little more effective when you are following closely another car, compared to all the downforce that is more generated by the bottom. This is why, because when a car goes in the air, through the air, basically it generates a bit of vortex in the air, and the vortexes, when they go on the wing, they don't have the same efficiency compared to when you are just alone by yourself and you have the maximum downforce possible. What they guess is 5 seconds in between the car in front of you for you not to be heavily affected. Lower than 5 seconds, you still have quite a bit of efficiency that is changing by following a car. In a circuit like this in Formula 4, this is why we have Amdal Kubesi following Zanfari. She can benefit from the slipstream more or less at this distance, which is roughly, 50 meters, 70 meters distance. She can benefit by having a little less resistance in the straight line, which we call drag. If you are staying too close, then you can have a bit of loss of downforce, but it's not the case then.
So on track, Luca, would you say the gap between the two drivers is about 5 seconds? That 100 meters is 5 seconds, or is that more? What would you judge the gap to be on track at the moment?
So now is maybe 2 seconds only, but what I mean is 5 seconds is where you are not affected.
But
Right now,
there's a sweet spot between the drag, between the slipstream and everything.
yes, exactly. So if you are over 2 seconds but less than 5, then is where you have potentially an advantage in a very fast circuit like this, that you can benefit from the drag in the straight line, but still having a good downforce in the corners where you need it.
Well, let's have a look at the timing board, because I just saw a flashing purple, and that's the white number 10 car Federico Alfafai doing a 2:07.321. I believe that's faster than qualifying last weekend.
Yeah, for sure, it's already a good lap. We have seen 7.0 yesterday in the test, so we're already getting very close to what we have seen is the best lap time we did so far around the circuit. I really hope that we can go into the 2:06. It will be basically our record so far, so I'm really looking forward to that. But 2:07.3 is already a really good lap time, so Federico is really on it, is on fire, and is pushing hard.
I think I may have mistakenly misquoted you at the beginning of qualifying, because you did mention in free practice Federico Alfafai might be up there in pole position.
I mean, he really has to try and fight back from Andrei Petrovic, as Andrei had such of an incredible weekend that the only way is to try and put in pressure, and he has to do it from qualifying if he wants to have an opportunity.
Yeah, qualifying is so important nowadays. You really have to start up there in the top spots, and that's exactly what Federico is trying to do. Run a little bit wide there on the inside of that corner, Luca. Maybe pushing a little bit too hard, but we're down into the 2:07.197s now. Second lap time from Federico Alfafai. Of course, Federico in the white number 10 car on screens at the moment, pushing as hard as he can push. Coming down now into turn 13. Where's the breaking point for turn 13, Luca?
13 is 70 meters, so just before the 50. He now did his best sector, even if we have seen him doing a bit of oversteer on entry, pushing really hard the entry. 46.0 is a very good sector. Sector 1 is almost the best we have seen so far. And so let's see if we can even improve this 2:07.19 that he just made, which is already good, but potentially he can keep improving.
Talking about improving, where is Andrei Petrovic? Is he not yet out on track? Is he still in the pit lane? He seems to have just jumped up the timing screens. Andrei Petrovic now in P9, ladies and gentlemen, with a P10, I should say, with a 2:14. So he's just gone out and obviously did his out lap and is now warming up, getting ready for a push lap. So Federico's going to have a look in his mirrors, because he's got red number 49 chasing him down.
And he has a little bit of slipstream. Let's see if he can benefit. For sure, he does have an effect right now. If the rest of the lap was good for him, he could improve. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
2:07.280, still the best time. Sorry, 2:07.197, still the best time for Federico Alfafai. But while we've been distracted by this on-screen action, we have Solomon Zanfari in the orange number 52 car, puts himself up into P2 with a 2:07.729.
So now Suleiman is in the pit, so I expect Suleiman, with 18 minutes to go, is going for the second set of new tires. So like he did last week, is on the strategy of the 2 sets, which let's see if he can benefit from that.
Well, talking about benefiting, Omar Al-Durain just went around the outside of Federico Alfafai. That was the yellow car on the right-hand side of your screens a few moments ago, so he may be a little bit waylaid in this lap time, but down into the pit lane, you're exactly right, Luca Philippe. That's Solomon Zanfari in the orange number 52, putting on new stickers.
Yeah, so with 17 minutes to go, then he has the right time to go out, warm up, and then try to set a quick lap time towards the end of the session. Kirill Kuskov is now on a quick lap with a very good first sector.
Yeah, best first sector of the whole grid so far, 46.74. So he's in P4 at the moment, but we've seen him up in P2 in the previous qualifying. So he's definitely got the pace, and that first sector proves it. Coming around the second half of the track now, I believe he's just coming through turns 15 and 16. Lots of time left to go, and this flat out section, does he prefer this flat out section or the slower, harder corners, Luca?
I like it all, to be honest. I really like the really fast, twisty part that goes from turn 4 to turn 10. I think it's very challenging, really quick, and this is what we have seen here. This is turn 9 and now 10. That is flat out, but really on the limit with Andre. Let's see his sector. He hasn't done yet a super quick lap, but I'm sure that now he's starting to push.
Now he is starting to push, ladies and gentlemen.
46.0.
Yes, indeed. Very close, within 0.06 of a second of the best time so far, which is actually now in the hands of Sagar Almashurj, who just sets the fastest first sector of qualifying, 46.91.
Yeah, with 15 minutes to go, we had halfway through the session, and we see everybody now is improving the lap time and the sectors, so definitely. And Federico Rifai is going for the second set also.
Federico Rifai on to the second set. You may well have predicted correctly, Luca, but I don't know. I've got a feeling about Sagar Almashurj with that purple sector number 1.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Definitely, he's also learning how to use the new tires. Is something that when you are a rookie like him with little experience, it takes a bit of time to learn, but is improving a lot day by day.
Let's have a look at the top 4, Luca, or the top 5, or even the top 6, or even the top 7, Luca. I mean, imagine a grid with Federico Rifai, then Andrei Petrovic, then Kirill Kotskov, then Sullivan Zanfar, then Sagar Almashurj coming down into turn 1 is going to be very, very interesting indeed. As, ladies and gentlemen, Andrei Petrovic puts himself up into the top spot, into the second spot, I should say, but not for very long, because Sagar Almashurj is a 2:07.164. Let me say his name correctly once again. Sagar Almashurj, he does a 2:07.164, puts himself in pole position and knocks Petrovic down into third, onto the second row of the grid. A huge round of applause there for the light blue number 5 car driving for Kuwait. Okay, maybe we can increase the bet a little bit now, Luca.
Yeah, I mean, it's still 14 minutes to go, but he now found the rhythm and also the technique to warm up the tires properly and improve himself again in the first sector. He now is the first one to go below the 46 with a very, very fast sector 1. Really looking forward to see him in the rest of the lap. Saker is really focused and improving day by day. He has a very nice technique of driving. He's looking after the tires, so also normally in the long runs is
very smooth, isn't he? He's like 2 fingers on the wheel, just touching it around the corner, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Soft touch and slow ends when he drives, where he can be really precise, and this is definitely a positive aspect when you are looking after the tires. Let's hope it is not affected by traffic going into the last corner. I believe it's not, so it's positive. He can focus on the braking for turn 27.
Is this another push lap for Sagar?
Yes, I mean it's purple sector 1, so he's trying to improve himself, and if he hasn't been affected by the traffic, he could. 7-0.
Is that even better again? Even better again. So that sets them up for race 1 and race 2 now with a fantastic time at 2:07.51. Fastest man on the grid by 1/10 of a second. Second fastest, the Federico Rifai in the white number 10 car. But Federico, we've seen, has put on the second set of new tires and is back out on track now on his out lap.
Yeah, and while Petrovic is now quick in sector 1, but he's not performed as we have seen yesterday, as we believe that he could, as we have seen him doing very low 7, like 7-0, he did more than once. I think he's now slowing. Yeah, he is in a cool down lap.
Do you think maybe that little bit of squirrely, almost hitting the wall action coming out on the exit of turn 2 is maybe giving him a moment's pause? He doesn't need to win every race at this point, he just needs to be up there for every race.
Yeah, you know how it is, motorsport. Anything can change within a very short time. So from this point of view, yeah, he shouldn't risk, but is not safe with a 274, as I believe Omar also is a 274, improving himself very close to Andre, so Omar also found a good pace, and yeah, never count Omar out of the equation.
Well, you couldn't miss him. That yellow car looks fantastic on screen, and with a 2:07.469, he's just 0.03 of a second away from Petrovic in the third position place. And of course, both drivers still on track and pushing for a faster lap time. And we have seen, or at least I'm told we've seen by Luca Philippe, that after the second or third push lap, it might go faster again, because the circuit's quite gentle on the tires.
Yes, we have seen most of the guys, most of the drivers improving after the cool down lap. So after this cool down, we will see both Petrovic and Almosergi pushing again, and they will have another couple of fast laps where potentially they could improve again the lap time. This is also why the cool down is not just to cool the tires, but also to bring the temperatures and the pressure down under the target. And when you push again, then you might lose a little bit of peak of the new tire grip that you have at the beginning of the run, but sometimes because of the cool down, then the temperatures and pressure, they are more even in all 4 tires, so you have a slightly better balance, so you can benefit in the driving by having a car that is perfectly balanced for the last couple of laps while you take the rhythm, and you are also learning from the previous laps, finding the limit.
On screen now, ladies and gentlemen, the white number 10, Federico Alderfai, currently the second place sitter, the left-hand side of the first row of the starting grid. Alderfai in a serious battle here, ladies and gentlemen, with Andre Petrovic for the championship lead. Andre at the moment, though, down in P4, as Oscar Wirtz, ladies and gentlemen, currently sitting in P3 with a 2:07.301. The top 5, top 6, top 8 drivers separated by just 0.6 of a second, all in the 2:07s. It's going to be very, very interesting here for the first race of the weekend. Of course, Sagar Almosergi, as it stands, in pole position. I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but somebody did predict this in free practice.
Watch out, we have both Andrei Petrovic and Omar Alderani on a very fast lap. Both of them, they could try and improve the lap time. Petrovic, yeah, it does improve to 7.3, but it doesn't make a jump in terms of classification, while Oscar Wurz goes up to P3.
Oscar Wirtz P3, 2:07.301. Andre Petrovic P4, 2:07.340. Omar Alderane P4, 2:07.469. Can he improve as he goes across the start-finish line?
7.3.
Yes, he does. Very, very nice indeed. That battle for P3 heating up here in qualifying.
Wow, I mean, top 7 in 5/10 of a second, so even if it's a very long lap, more than 2 minutes long, everybody is so close within a few hundred of a second, and I'm impressed by Saker for the moment. Is being really good and consistent, so it's not just looking good for race 1 but also for race 3, if I'm not wrong.
Is Sager still out on track, or has he come into the pit lane, do you know, Luca?
He's still on track. He had a cool down lap, and then he had a so-so lap, not so fast. Also, this one is not looking good, as his sector 1 is not so fast, so he has to find the rhythm again, because he needs a third quick lap to make sure he has a third good lap for the third race.
All the drivers doing quite a few laps in qualifying. We've got Sager's done 8 laps, Federico's done 9 laps.
Look at Omar. 5.9 in sector 1.
5.9 in sector 1. Very nice indeed. Of course, Omar Alderain currently P6 after Kirill Kutskov bumped him off. Kirill pushed him down, I should say. But with a 207.340 and a 207.353, it's very, very, very close indeed for the two drivers, and indeed everybody on that looking for that third place position. Oscar, Andre, Kirill, and Omar all in the 207.3s.
Petrovic again 7.3, so he's very consistent, but he's not able to put it on pole for the moment. So he's been really consistent, really fast, but maybe a little bit cautious in this qualifying. He didn't push the limit as he did yesterday in the testing when he did a 2.70. So, and Omar in P2.
Omar Alderain 207, not 4.8. What a fantastic lap for Alderain, but it may have just been deleted. It may have been track limits, because he's gone down on the timing screens. Yes, I believe that would be a track limit issue there, while Federico Alrafai maintains his second position now. Oscar Words, Andre Petrovic, Kirill Kutskov, Omar Alderain, ladies and gentlemen. But you can see how fast, how hard the yellow number 18 car is pushing. And just with 5 minutes left on the board, that gives them 3 more laps. So there's every chance in the world Omar Alderain is going to put himself up onto the first row of the grid. Sagar Almasher's got to look out, though. He's got Federico Alrafai behind him. Oscar Wertz in the pit lane, so he may be satisfied with his P3 for qualifying. He may be trying to change tyres. Late change of tyres it would be, though. Andre Petrovic still out on track. His last lap with his best so far with a 207.318, so he's pushing hard. But on screen now, ladies and gentlemen, the yellow number 18 of Omar Alderain, who seems to be on another push lap, and he's gonna be giving it everything he has. But his first sector, ladies and gentlemen, is a 46.268, which is not his personal best, so he may have just run out of tires at this point.
Yeah, or maybe a slight mistake, or maybe just got overexcited when you have seen the lap time on his dashboard on the steering wheel. But I just hope he can get his head around and keep pushing and trying to get another good lap, because unfortunately his incredible effort has been deleted. We haven't seen, but as you say, for sure it was a track limit.
Back on screen now, the yellow number 18 coming around the final corner of the racetrack down the main straight. Now he goes faster and faster, as fast as he can, across the start-finish line. In just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we will see his time updated, and I believe he does not manage to improve in this lap. As Luca said, perhaps a little error in Sector 1. Talking about Sector 1, though, Federico Alrafai just went and did his personal best in Sector 1. Let's have a look at the track map and see exactly where the number 10 car is. I don't see him on the live map at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, but he should be coming around the second half of the circuit now, and this may be troubling news for Federico Alrafai. For Sagar Almasherj. And oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, Kirill Kutskov has just put himself up into second position. He's going to be starting alongside the Kuwaiti native. That's Team Blue, Team Seabreeze Blue, starting on the first row of the grid together, coming down into turn 1. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed. Kutskov now with the 1:02. That is just under a tenth of a second behind pole position. Federico Al Rafai still with his 2:07.145.
Wow, I mean, and Federico Rifai also trying and improve himself. He did improve, but does improve, but just for a couple of hundreds. So it's positive because it's consistent, but he couldn't quite fight for the pole position in this lap. Zanfari is now on a good lap in Sector 1.
Zanfari, a 46.043, his personal best in Sector 1, currently residing in P7 with a 2:07.515, which is just 0.5 of a second off of the pole sitter. He at the moment starting alongside Amna Al-Kabaisi in the 4th row of the grid, or sorry, I should say he's starting alongside Omar Al-Durain on the 3rd row of the grid. Can he move himself up higher? In just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we'll find out, because Zanfari coming around turn 13 now, so another minute or so, and he will complete his what will probably be his second final lap here in qualifying. On screen, ladies and gentlemen, we have Andrei Petrovich in the red, number 49 car, who I believe is currently at the top of the championship standings. He is about a quarter away around the track now, and this is going to be probably his last chance to make one last flying lap. Can he make anything happen? Let's have a look at the timing boards. He did a 46.411 in the first sector, which is not his personal best and may not be enough to make a difference for the Serbian driver here this weekend. Up the top stop, up in second place, you can see Kirill Kutskov on the timing screens. You can see him on the main screens as well, as he is returned into the pit lane now, hoping that he's done enough to start on the front row of the grid. And Sagar Al-Mashaz has also come into the pit lane. So now who's left out on track? We have Federico Al-Rafai, Andrei Petrovich, Omar Al-Walid Al-Duran, and Solomon Zanfari, and of course Hamda Al-Kabaisi as well. This is the last chance here for Solomon Zanfari in the orange, number 52, driving for Morocco, coming down around turn 27 now, down the main straight. Now here we go, foot to the floor, all the way to the start-finish line. Can he improve his time as he crosses the line now, ladies and gentlemen? It seems like he didn't manage to improve. Unfortunately, his best time still at 2:07.515, in his last lap at 2:07.928, about 0.4 of a second slower than his personal best. Back onto the pit lane, you can see Kirill Kutskov in the... excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, that would be Sagar Al-Mashaj in the light blue number 5 car. No, that is indeed Kirill Kutskov, the sister car, the light blue number 23, into the pit lane, having finished his qualifying in P2. Federico Al-Rafai is still on track in the number 10 car, coming around now, corners 15 and 16. About 45 seconds left to go, and he will cross the start-finish line, and it's going to decide whether he starts P3 or higher. But Andrei Petrovich, ladies and gentlemen, in a shock this weekend, starts qualifying in P5 as he's just crossed the start-finish line, and although he didn't manage to improve, Omar Al-Drain has also crossed the start-finish line, I believe, and has done his personal best, a 2:07, which seems to have been deleted actually as well. He may have been pushing just a little bit too hard, and we've seen that in the last lap. He did a fantastic lap, but just seems to have cut a corner somewhere by just, I'm sure, a few millimeters, but that's all it takes for the stewards to catch you here at the fantastic Jeddah Corniche circuit. Federico Al-Rafai is scheduled to cross the start-finish line in just a few moments, and I'm sure very soon we will see what happens with him as he crosses the start-finish line. Can he improve? No, he cannot with a 2:07.383. It's a fantastic lap, ladies and gentlemen, but 0.2 of a second off of his personal best, and not good enough to move him out of P3. And well, with that, really, ladies and gentlemen, the only person left on track now is Solomon Zanfari. He's the only one with a shot who managed to cross the start-finish line in time to do one more lap. And looking at the timing screens, though, with a 46.185 in the first sector, not his personal best, not quite fast enough to challenge for the top 3 position here in qualifying, but nonetheless, I'm sure Solomon has his foot down to the floor. He's coming around the main straight now, crossed the start-finish line, and he did a 2:07.609, just 1/10 of a second, or less than that, even half a tenth of a second off of his personal best, but not enough to move himself up the order here in qualifying.
Wow, this is the closest qualifying we have seen this year. Wow, it's top 6 in 0.3 of a second, and it is super close. And for race 3, for the third fastest lap, it's even closer. I believe in 2 laps, in 2/10 of a second, we have maybe 7, 8 drivers, and it's really close. We will see a big fight. I mean, we all expected Andre to have again a dominance like he did a few days ago, but all the guys were good at doing their homework, studying the telemetry and the videos, and then trying to learn from each other and deliver. So definitely, what an effort from Amosherji, that just a few weeks ago he had this big question mark in his head over how to work the new tires, and now he's in pole position. So quick improvement.
Fantastic improvement. And down to Marcello to hear exactly what happened.
Sakir Al-Mosherji, well, congratulations, the first pole position of the season. And how does it feel, first of all?
Thank you. It feels very good. My first time in pole position. And yeah, I wish now I can win the races.
And after last week, well, last race, you have been improving always little by little. How much effort did you put into this, and how did you find this tent that you were missing?
Yeah, in the last few races, I was struggling in qualifying and much better in the race. So I was practicing for quali, so I can start ahead and have a good race.
So what's your plan for the race now?
Just enjoy.
Good job, Sakir.
Thank you very much, Marcello. And of course, Sagar Al-Mosherji. Sagar driving the light blue number 5 car, ladies and gentlemen, who's going to be starting on the right-hand side of the grid for pole position, of course, on the first row. And it's going to be something special. His teammate's going to be starting on his left-hand side, and coming down into turn 1, we're going to see exactly what happens in just a few hours' time. In fact, an hour and a half at 9:30. The first race of the evening is scheduled to start, and I think it's going to be something very special indeed. As Luca mentioned, the top 6 drivers separated by 0.3 of a second. The top 9 drivers separated by 0.6 of a second. The grid here just getting closer and closer together. Let's have a run through that grid. Right now we have Sagar Al-Mosherji in P1 ahead of Kirill Kutskov, P2. Second row of the grid, Federico Al-Rafai alongside Oscar Wirtz. Third row of the grid with a shock surprise, the red number 49 of Andrei Petrovic starting P5 alongside Omar Al-Durain, who beats out his compatriot Faisal Al-Kabani and makes his way into the sixth position starting spot. Of course, Suleiman Zanfari and Amna Al-Kabasi are P7 and P8 respectively ahead of Amda Al-Kabasi and Faisal Al-Kabani, who rounds out the top 10. P11 is Abdullah Al-Kabasi in the red number 77 car ahead of the 96 of Jabir Al-Thani and the 99 of Abdulaziz Abu Zinada. What a fantastic qualifying. Luca Philippe, top 6 within 0.6 of a second, top 9 within 0.6 of a second, I believe, and I'm very, very happy indeed to see Sagar Al-Mosherji up in the top spot. Let's have a quick run through the highlights now, ladies and gentlemen, and see exactly how it all shaked out.
Yeah, it was really spectacular to see these many drivers within a few hundreds of a second and fighting for the pole position. We could expect Sakir at the top, but to see him on pole, wow, it's really promising, and it also means that young guys with the right attitude and the right tools and the talent, they can.
I just got nudged there, ladies and gentlemen. Luca Philippe needs a little drink of water, so not to worry. Back on screen now, we've got the white number 11 of Oscar Wirtz on track. He had a good session, finishing in P4. Glad to see him up there. But the red number 49 of Andrei Petrovic, that's the shock here, ladies and gentlemen. He was on pole in qualifying last weekend, almost dominated the whole weekend. but it just didn't work out for him here in this session under the lights once again at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. But it worked out well for us because it was a fantastically thrilling session with Sagar Al-Mashouj managing to find his way up onto the pole position. And well, you can't ask for more than that from a driver. Did a 2:07.015 and made us all jump out of our seats. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, really it's the end of qualifying. So for me, Aaron Thompson, of course, from the fantastic Luca Felipe, thank you very, very, very much for watching. And we hope to see you again briefly for the first race of the evening at 9:30 in just an hour and a half time.